Okay, we're still in chapter 3 and now we are going to practice adjective endings with the accusative. And I put some sample sentences down and we'll figure out together what the correct answer would have to be. Alright, I gave you fractions of a sentence without any conjugated verbs, but we know, I told you, wine is a masculine noun and we use the adjective billig. So, I buy the cheap wine. How would we say that? Ich. If you conjugate the verb kaufen, you know the ich gets an e ending, right? We drop off the en and replace it with the personal ending. So ich kaufe. Now, masculine, der Wein, right? And that changes to den. So we know that, den. Alright. And then we add the adjective billig. And we just learned that it also gets an en ending just like the den. So den billigen Wein. Ich kaufe den billigen Wein. So look at sentence number 2. Here we have a neuter noun, beer. He drinks the cold beer. Alright. We know when we conjugate when we conjugate trinken, the personal ending for is a T. Trinkt. Okay, now we know beer is a neuter noun, das, and kalt is the adjective, beer. So what ending do we put on? What did we learn? Das. The adjective ending has to be E. Alright, then sentence number 3. Du kaufen Orangen. And here Orangen are plural. And the adjective is süß. So you buy the sweet oranges. Du, drop off the en of the verb. You know the personal ending for du is st. Du kaufst. Plural we know is die. Alright, süß is our adjective. And since it's plural, we learned we have to add an en to the adjective, right? Die süßen Orangen. Okay. Now let's look at sentence number 4. Wir kaufen Tasche. We buy a bag or pocketbook. And Tasche is a feminine noun, a D word. So let's look at the conjugation of wir with the verb. No change here. When we conjugate the verb kaufen, wir gets an en ending. Wir kaufen. Now we know Tasche is feminine, so it's die, a D word. And then the adjective is teuer. And we learned the D word adds an adjective ending of E to the adjective. So, die teure Tasche. And here we drop out the E to make it easier to pronounce. So, wir kaufen die teure Tasche. Okay, I also want to go over those sentences now and ask a question. So, we say, ich kaufe den billigen Wein. How do we say which wine are we buying? Since Wein is the accusative ending, so we have to say, welchen Wein? Which wine do we buy? Alright, trinkt das kalte Bier. Now, Bier is a neuter noun, right? Das, so the question word gets an yes. Welches Bier trinken wir? Nummer 3, du kaufst die süßen Orangen. Die Orangen is plural, so we add an E to the question word. Welche Orangen? It's getting a little crowded here. Wir kaufen die teure Tasche. Tasche is a D word, so which bag are we buying? The question word gets an E. Welche Tasche? Welche Tasche kaufen wir? Now down below, I put some English sentences. And now you have to tell me, how do we translate that into German? Because if you write a story or an essay, then you have to know how to construct a sentence, right? So, I buy the good chocolate. We know chocolate is a feminine noun. So, I is ich, right? To buy is kaufen. So, Kauf. Ich kaufe. So chocolate is a D word, so it is D. Good is gut. We know the adjective ending for D word is I. Die gute Schokolade. And that's our sentence. Ich kaufe die gute Schokolade. Nummer 2. I want the gray sweater. Sweater is a masculine noun, so it's a der word. I want. Ich möchte. Alright, and the gray sweater is the direct object. Subject, verb, direct object. So we learned the der word changes to den. So, den. Grau is our adjective. Gets the same ending, the N ending as den. And sweater, I'm going to use the short form Pulli. Ich möchte den grauen Pulli. And our last sentence is a plural. Example. I buy the sweet apples. Alright. We know how to say I buy. Ich kaufe. Alright. Plural. We know plural is a D. Sweet is süß. That's our adjective. And we learned all plural endings are en. Die süßen Äpfel. Alright, and now you should really know how to form adjective endings when the noun is in the accusative case.